Hi to all the people of Tullahoma. Thank you, LightTube, for having me here today. And thank you for the opportunity to express my views and tell the people of Tullahoma who I am. First, I would like to encourage all people to register to vote. It's important to choose your own government and your own leaders. Get to know them, find out who they really are, who are they serving, their own interest and agenda, somebody else's, or are they genuinely intend to serve the best interest of you, the people of Tullahoma? I was born in a little village in Cyprus. I'm a Greek Cypriot, by the name Zodia. In English is Zodiac, like the 12 zodiacs. My father was a farmer, so I grew up at the farm. At the age of 12, there was a war, a Turkish invasion, and we became refugees. My father was a prisoner of war, so my family was suffering for a while. I finished high school. I went to the army. I served in the special forces as a Green Beret. After the army, I went to a hotel and catering institute in Cyprus for 3 years. I worked in hotels. I got promotions. I became a head chef. I decided to leave Cyprus and come to the United States to further my education. I was in New York, San Francisco, Golden Gate University, came down to Tennessee. I was in Murfreesboro and things didn't work out. I got a ride from a nice lady and she dropped me in Tullahoma, over here at the bridge, at the viaduct. I came in Tullahoma with a suitcase. No money, no job, no car, nothing. I got a job. Eventually, I got an apartment. I was working 7 days a week, 2 jobs. Eventually, I leased Nicola's restaurant. A few years later, I bought the place, 1996, August 26. I started making a little money, so I started buying little properties, a lot, apartments, commercial, residential. Slowly, I did pretty good. 1995, I tried to repatriate back to Cyprus. I got a job at a college as a professor. I was teaching hotel and restaurant management. And that's where I met a young lady by the name Isabella. We started dating with the permission of the management, of course. Eventually, 2001, Isabella came to visit me and we decided to get married. 2002, we had my little girl, Eleni. 2003, I had my boy. We had my boy, 2003. They were raised in the restaurant, school, restaurant, athletics, at the high school, at the library, at the swimming pool. Now the question is, why am I running for a mayor? Over the years, I have seen many good things and many things I didn't approve. as far as money spending, decisions made based on their own reasons. Special interests were served. Generally, the people elected were not genuinely serving the people of Tullahoma and the interest of the people of Tullahoma. It's easy for them to spend the taxpayers' money because they didn't make them. They are not accountable for it. Many decisions made by mayor, aldermen, city administrators, and other heads of departments have cost a lot of money to the taxpayers. And not only money, but the reputation of the city of Tullahoma. Tullahoma became the ridiculed, the fool, all over the state of Tennessee. I talked to people in Murfreesboro, in Nashville, in Chattanooga, different cities. They all know how corrupt this city is, that is run by people who are not there to serve the people of Tullahoma. I believe that people in business who have proved themselves in all aspects of life should be not eligible. I don't want to go against the Constitution, but I encourage, I believe, business people who have proved themselves should serve as leaders of Tullahoma. I have dedicated my life to work, honest work, working 80, 90, 100 hours a week for over 30 years in this city. Whatever I made them with my sweat, with my hands. I broke my back, I broke my hips, I broke my knees, but I'm still going. I raised 2 children, Eleni and Petros, hardworking, honest, involved in basket, swimming, running, tennis. Very proud of them. They managed to go to Ivy League universities. My daughter went to University of Pennsylvania. She just graduated a month ago. Today she started a job at the law firm in New York, in Manhattan. My boy is a senior this August, going back for the 4th year at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. I believe that parents should be judged by the children they raise. Strongly believe that. Because a criminal is going to raise a criminal, an honest, hardworking, caring person will raise the same. I've been planting sunflowers in this city for 21 years. That's my children like them, my wife liked them. I plant them to beautify this city and for the people of Tullahoma to go and take pictures, pick up a few with all my heart. I hope more people will follow this example and do something for the city without expectations in return. Use their own time, their own equipments, their own labor, their own money, and do something to beautify this city. I'm asking you to give me an opportunity to serve this city. I will not disappoint you. Thank you in advance for your vote. I will do anything possible to make you proud. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lynn, and I'm running for mayor of Tullahoma. I'm excited to be here. I want to talk a little bit about why I'm running and some of my background and experience. I love Tullahoma. I've been blessed to raise a family here in Tullahoma. I have 3 kids that have come up through the Tullahoma High School, and they're all grown up now. But I'm running for mayor, and I think there's a lot of change and challenge coming to our city, and I've done a lot of work in the past few years that I think positions me for that. So let me talk about my experience for just a minute. I've been an AEDC employee for a long time over the years. I've got about 25 years experience out at AEDC, and that's how I came to Tullahoma. I came to Tullahoma in 1990 to go to school at UTSI, married a local girl, ended up at AEDC. Over the years, I've been involved with a lot of public service in Tullahoma. So about 17 years ago, I was on the Planning Commission in Tullahoma for a few years, and then at that time, Mayor Troy Bisbee appointed me to try to look at economic development in the city, and we formed the Tullahoma Area Economic Development Corporation. I've been the chairman of that board for 14 years now, and we've worked to bring retail, medical, and technology work to Tullahoma. Then, along with that, I've been active in the Arnold Community Council for about 14 years as well. The Arnold Community Council is a community organization that supports Arnold Engineering Development Center. One of our big things we do every year is we go to Washington, D.C., and we visit Congress and the Pentagon to represent AEDC. Last year we ended up in the Chief of Staff's office, General Brown, and I was sitting there in his office thinking, what in the world am I doing in this Chief of Staff's office of the Air Force, of the entire U.S. Air Force? But it just goes to show how important AEDC is. The AEDC mission matters, and when we go to the Pentagon, they know who we are, and Tullahoma's support for AEDC matters, and so I've enjoyed doing that. And in addition, I've been a county commissioner for the last 6 years. I've served on the Budget and Finance Committee all 6 years, and I've been the chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee the last 2 years. At the same time I was on the Budget Committee, I also, with the work of the mayor, with the cooperation of the mayor, formed a planning committee for the county commission, because there's a lot of changes coming to Coffee County. And so we spent about a year looking at all the things that are happening in Coffee County and the commission, and trying to identify some things the county commission could do to improve its activities and get better prepared for the things that are changing. And one of the things we learned over and over with all the folks we talked to the AEDC commander, we talked to the 2 cities, we talked to various industries all around the county, is there's a lot of change coming to our county. And I think most of us know that. I mean, you can look at housing prices in this whole area. It's happening all through southern Tennessee, and know there's a lot of change coming. But one of the things we heard over and over again was the need for housing and childcare. We heard that from the commander of AEDC. We heard that from UTSI Director Dr. Schmischer. We heard that from multiple other businesses. And so we've got a need there, and there's been a lot of discussion about that in Tullahoma. The other thing that's happening is that we've got a lot of jobs coming to Coffee County. The AEDC is having a large increase in jobs in the next few years related to hypersonic work at AEDC, which is the kind of work I'm doing right now. And also the state has purchased a large industrial site just north of Manchester. And since the state of Tennessee owns that, they're going to be promoting that, and we can expect to see some big industrial developments there. So there's a lot of things coming to our area that frankly are kind of outside Tullahoma's control. And so we're going to see the impacts of that growth. And so one of the things I just wanted to make a comment about, as I've talked to people around town, the conversation we've been having in Tullahoma the last few years, is that change is kind of a constant. I hear people say sometimes, it's like, well, I just want Tullahoma to stay the way it is. That's understandable, but the reality is all towns change all the time. I found a photo recently that was a picture of the corner up here of Jackson Street and Lincoln Street with the Studebaker dealership, you know, so that Studebaker dealership isn't around anymore. But it will be, you know, there'll be change in Tullahoma in the future. Our job as leadership in Tullahoma is to manage that change so we can get the most benefit from it, while hopefully trying to tamp down some of the disadvantages of it. You know, we've got a lot of traffic in town now, people are pointing that out. Well, it's not because people are moving to Tullahoma, it's because people are coming to Tullahoma to shop and traveling through our city. So that's good. I heard an interesting phrase the other day. Somebody mentioned, they used the phrase, the missing middle. And what they were talking about was housing, and I think that was one of our challenges, is the housing. We have a need in Tullahoma for housing for several groups of people. The one question I have been asking everyone is, where are our children going to live? Where are our graduates going to live? I think we have a really good school system in Tullahoma, and we're proud of our school system. We're proud of educating our kids. And then the question is, well, if we were going to educate our kids, do we want to do that just so we can send them away somewhere else? Or would we like our graduates to stay here in Tullahoma? And our young graduates and even our graduates of technical schools and even the high school, as they're looking for a place to live right now, housing, a new house in Tullahoma is $300,000 at 6.5% interest rates. A lot of these young people coming out of school, if they're going to be a nurse or a teacher or a firefighter, they can't afford a $300,000 house straight out of the gate. So we need to find a place for them. And then also older people. You know, I don't know about you, but last summer I kept getting those letters that said, hey, we'll buy your house. And I thought, man, that'd be great, because they have a bunch of zeros on those letters sometimes. But then my next thought was always, but where am I going to live? And I know there's some seniors that would like to downsize into a smaller place, and those places aren't available. And so those are some of the challenges that we need to work on. I've heard people worry about infrastructure, and I worry about that too. I worry about our roads. I worry about whether we need a new school. But I just wanted to point out, since I moved here in 1990, we've had a huge number of projects, and I started doing the math on about every 4 years Tullahoma has done a major project. Even through the middle of the Great Recession, we've built a middle school, an elementary school. We're building another elementary school. We built a police station. We've built a new football stadium, and that's just a few of the things that we've done. I'm confident that we can manage our infrastructure that we need as long as we're just careful with our budgets and do some planning. I also think the mayor needs to be making sure that we're getting our fair share of county and state and federal dollars. And I think we've got some work to do there, but I think we can manage that infrastructure. And then the last couple of comments I have is I just want to say that a lot of folks I've talked to have expressed disappointment in some of the behavior that's been going on at our city board meetings. And I just think that we need to have a return to civility and respect. Our BMA meetings should be focused on getting the work of the people done in an orderly manner. And my pledge is to treat everybody in Tullahoma with civility and respect. And then on a personal note, as I mentioned, I have 3 grown children now. My wife, Teresa, was a school teacher at Bel Air Elementary, and she passed away last year. And I just want to say the outpouring of support that we got from this community during that was just overwhelming. And so I thank all of you for that. I'm pretty active in several other things. I'm active in my church, the Westwood Church of Christ. I'm active in the Civic Center every year. We do the South Jackson Goes Country Show, so come see us next year. And I have some other hobbies like photography. But if you want to learn more about my campaign, you can go out to SebournForMayor.com and you can see that. I appreciate your support, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Matthew Bird, and I want to see Tullahoma plan for the future. I'm running for Tullahoma Alderman. I've already been able to speak with many people, and I greatly appreciate this opportunity to shine a spotlight on my thoughts and ideas. A little bit about myself so that people can get to know me better. I was born and raised in Tullahoma. I graduated from Tullahoma High School, and I've lived here for most of my life. My wife and I had our wedding ceremony in South Jackson Civic Center. I have a 10-year-old son who attends Bel Air Elementary. Most of my career has been centered around the precision machining industry. By working at Cubic Transportation and Microcraft as a precision machinist, and then transitioning into planning and scheduling for Microcraft, Schmied, and Arnold Air Force Base. This experience gives me the patience, understanding, and knowledge to help Tullahoma move forward as a smart and safe community. I'm a planner, and I want to help plan Tullahoma's future. My goals for this city are to focus on growing in a smart way, growing our businesses, and then how to grow our city's infrastructure in a long-lasting way. First, how our city is growing. Growth has its benefits, as long as it doesn't snowball into something we haven't prepared for. What I believe needs to be done is to closely monitor the currently planned 1,200 residences on 41A, Ledford Mill, Highway 55, and many other places. Those have already passed through our city government. Over the next 2 to 4 years, before any other large developments start, we should allow time for the current ones to progress. We should not stop what has already has permission to build because our Planning Commission, current Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and City Planner have already put so much effort into getting these started. This allows for us to ensure that Tullahoma is not left with an overwhelmed school system, an infrastructure that cannot handle the increased population, and that we don't have half-filled ghost neighborhoods. After talking with many Tullahoma residences, there's a concern of favoritism with some of the developers. By monitoring when all large developments start, not just some of them, it ensures that there's not more favoritism allowing only select developers to build. Plan for smart growth. Then there is our business growth. Tullahoma has lost many of its industrial and manufacturing companies. With losing those companies, many people have lost their jobs. By incentivizing manufacturing companies to come to Tullahoma, we would see an increase in higher paying jobs. Small locally owned businesses wouldn't be impacted by manufacturing jobs. In fact, they would thrive from the increased money coming into our city. According to data that was gathered by the Think 2040 plan, we have about 5,500 citizens who live in Tullahoma but commute elsewhere. There are also about 9,000 people who live somewhere else but commute to Tullahoma. This is a lot of money that doesn't stay in Tullahoma and is spent elsewhere. We need to make sure that we have houses and jobs here. Plan to grow our businesses. Next, our infrastructure. This includes the schools, roads, power, water, trash pickup, police department, and fire department. These things have all been brought up during Planning Commission meetings. Having graduated from Tullahoma and my son being in our schools, I've seen firsthand the struggle that most of our schools are having with their aging buildings and their difficulty that they have with funding their after-school programs. According to both the 2013 Comprehensive Transportation Plan and Tullahoma City Schools Takeoff Towards 2026, Tullahoma currently has plans for millions of dollars to be spent on schools and roads. But these plans have been on the books for years. People have asked me where I expect this money to come from, and that is answered with measured growth, not an increase for current citizens' taxes. We have high enough taxes as is. It doesn't have to be ultimatums of cutting funding or raising our taxes. More people living in Tullahoma means more people paying property taxes. More people spending their money in Tullahoma means more sales taxes. This extra tax revenue can be directed into our schools, roads, police department, fire department, and any other area. Plan for a better Tullahoma. I challenge the citizens of Tullahoma to take a more active role in who plans for the future of our city. If the plans that I have suggested sound like what you want to see, then help spread my name. I encourage you to contact me on my Facebook page, Matthew Bird for Tullahoma Alderman, and help me get to know you or ask me questions about anything I didn't talk about today. If we don't plan, there's chaos. Vote for someone who has a plan. Vote Matthew Bird, citizen, not politician.
Hi, my name is Franklin Cammack, and I am running to be one of your aldermen here for the city of Tullahoma. Let me start off by just telling you a little bit about who I am and where I came from. So I've lived in Coffee County my entire life. I grew up in Hillsboro on a large farm, graduated Coffee County High School in 2002, MTSU in 2006 with a major in business education. Teaching has always been a passion of mine. I've always looked at trying to improve the next generation who's coming behind me. So teaching was a natural fit for me. I moved to Manchester in 2006, and started teaching in Grundy County High School at the same time. I taught there for 12 years before getting my first job here in Tullahoma at West Middle School. I moved to Tullahoma as well in 2016, so I've been here for 6 years. I never envisioned teaching middle school as part of my plan. I always looked at myself being high school. But in the 6 years that I've been at West Middle School, I've been nominated as one of Tullahoma's finest teachers 3 times, winning it in 2022. I've won Tullahoma City Schools Middle School Teacher of the Year this year and was named to the Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce's 40 Under 40. So while it was never part of my master plan, I have flourished in this role. Running for alderman, being involved with city politics, has never been part of my master plan. But sometimes you're guided into these positions, and just because it wasn't part of your plan doesn't mean you can't excel doing it. I'm a citizen of Tullahoma just like the rest of you. I didn't really follow city government closely. When the big things came up, I paid attention. You know, when the city charter was going through, I was paying attention. When we had the 2040 plan that was looking like it was going through, I was paying attention. But what I started noticing was our board of aldermen and mayor was, well, to borrow a line from former Mayor Curley in his newspaper interview, dysfunctional at best. And I have lived by a mantra my entire life: if I'm going to complain about something and I don't do anything to fix it when given the opportunity, I'm nothing but a hypocrite. And I don't like that. So running for alderman is a chance to not be a hypocrite and to possibly be able to help improve Tullahoma. So what was one of the last straws that kind of pushed me into saying, okay, let's do this? Back in November, the food truck ordinance came before the city. I'm a foodie. I love to eat. I mean, you can look at me and tell I love to eat. But I saw this as not a way of getting rid of food trucks. This was a way of trying to hurt small businesses. Food trucks are small businesses. So why are we limiting what they can do? Why are we discouraging competition? This was not a good bill or a good ordinance for us to go through with the city. There was needing to be a few regulations, but not to the extent of what it went into. And so that kind of opened up my eyes of what else is the city doing that I don't necessarily agree with. In comes the city charter. A lot of bad things that was in that, a lot of good. It needed to be updated. It really has some language in it that needs to be updated, but by taking the power away from the mayor, by giving the aldermen more control than what they really need, it's not good for local Tullahoma. So I'm like, okay, you know, it's my time to kind of step in this ring. Let's protect small businesses. Let's start looking at what else, you know, we need to do to try to protect Tullahoma. One of the other things I'm looking at is our growth. I mean, Tullahoma is growing at a very quick rate, and are we prepared infrastructure-wise to be growing this quickly? I live over in East Lincoln, and they just approved a 36 housing units on 17 acres. It's a lot of additional homes over in that one small area. Short Springs is getting 99 units. There's 1,000 unit location that's been, you know, approved. Do we have the infrastructure for all these new homes? Is our sewer set up to where we can, you know, function with all these new homes? How about fire departments? Do we have the emergency personnel? You know, are we growing too fast for what we have infrastructure-wise to support it? So we need to be responsible in our growth. From there, as talking about growth as well, let's go back. I'm a teacher. You know, I am seeing our schools starting to reach max capacity. We are getting a brand new building over at Farah, but are we building for growth or are we building for replacement? Bel Air needs some help. The high school needs to be renovated. That is a lot of tax dollars that needs to go into, you know, updating these buildings. Where is it coming from? I am not for raising taxes at all. And any politician, and I hate to call myself a politician, but I've been told that the fact that I'm running for a position makes me a politician. So in name only, it's, you know, no politician ever wants to say they want to raise taxes. And I have no intention of ever doing that. But we've got to look at where do we take money from to make these improvements that we need. Those are the hard decisions. So looking at the budget, trying to, you know, find those dollars to be able to move around to kind of help the infrastructure, especially within our schools. The school district is 40% of the school's budget, or not the school's budget, I'm sorry, the city's budget as it is. So, you know, what can we do to try to help build that up? City Hall is another one that needs to be renovated. Say there is mold in places that people are working. So it's just the matter of, you know, trying to do that. Our roads, sidewalks, you know, we need the sidewalks to be able to protect the kids walking to school. So these are just kind of some of the things that I'm looking at. I guess my last thing to really say is, again, I'm a citizen of Tullahoma. I'm not really a politician. I'm not taking campaign dollars from anybody business related. I don't want to have any political ties to anybody. I want to talk to the people of Tullahoma. I want to find out what you are interested in, what needs to be done, and do what makes sense. There's no agendas. There's no, I'm going to, you know, the meetings are not a time to be able to sit back and, you know, name call and try to make it must-see TV. It's to do what's best for the citizens of Tullahoma, and that's what I'm here trying to do. So again, my name is Franklin Cammack. You can find my Facebook. I've got Franklin Cammack for Aldermen up. Go check it out. Ask questions. My phone number is posted there. My email is posted there. So please, you know, reach out. Let me know what I can do to try to help you, and I'd appreciate your vote on August 1st. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Sernobia McGee, and I am running this year to serve as one of your aldermen. I don't have an agenda for any type of self-gain. Born and raised here, people know my character, they know my integrity. And when you're an elected official, you're voted in by the citizens to make the best decisions that will benefit the citizens. One of the things that stick out to me when I did serve was we had voted on some affordable housing, some apartment complex to be built here in one of the communities. And we had passed the first vote in agreement to building those apartments. But then when it came around to the second vote, the whole community came out and voiced their concerns. And we were able to hear and listen to their concerns. And it changed the decisions of all of the aldermen that had voted yes for this apartment complex to be built. So it's very important that we hear what the people have to say when they're voicing our concerns. It's very important that we listen to hear and not listen to respond. I hope to bring some balance to the board. There is an old saying that says anything that doesn't grow will eventually die. I am for growth, but I'm for slow and steady growth due to our infrastructure. I am an advocate to bring industry back. When I was a little girl here in Tullahoma was booming with industries. You know, Wilson's, they were here, Genesco, Tennessee Apparel, BF Goodrich, Worth Sporting Goods, the Tannery. Getting retail and food establishments, that's good for our community. But if there aren't any viable jobs, those places will eventually leave. I don't want to be remembered as someone to advance their platform at the expense of the people, but rather be remembered as someone who advanced the people by way of the platform. Thank you so much. I am Sernobia McGee, and I would really appreciate your vote in August for 2024 Alderman of the City of Tullahoma. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is John Santana, and I'm running for one of the open alderman seats here in our August election. Now, this is probably the first time you're seeing my face and my name and seeing my signs around, so allow me to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what I'm about. So, I was born and raised in Jackson, Tennessee, lived in Tennessee my whole life. Went to a little private school called Trinity Christian Academy, then Jackson State Community College. From there, I transferred over to MTSU and lived in Murfreesboro for a few years, finishing up my degree. From there, I graduated, moved up to Nashville, and I currently work in cybersecurity for the healthcare industry. I was living up there, working remote. I met my wife, Larissa Cheney, now Larissa Santana, and moved down here where she's from and put down roots here in Tullahoma. We have a little girl named Annalise Santana. She's 11 months old and going to be 1 year old here on July 8th. So really blessed, really happy, and really honored to be running for the seat. Now, it's because that I'm a new dad, I'm a new husband, that I'm running for this position. I want my daughter to grow up in a nice, clean, safe, economically vibrant town, and there's not a whole lot of representation for young families, working class families around here, and I would like to change that. Families are the engine, the engine of the economy, the heart of the community, and we need to seek development and growth and ensure that taxes stay level and budgets are balanced, so that we can keep this a nice place to raise families. My parents are Gen X. They were sort of the tail end of the American dream, where you could have one person working and a stay-at-home mom. My mom chose to work just so that she could raise the extra money for my education. I think education is incredibly important. I was the first class that got offered the Tennessee Promise. So again, you do 2 years at community college, you transfer to university, you get those first 2 years free. And I was able to graduate college debt-free, which is a huge blessing and very uncommon for the average student nowadays, and get into a nice field in cybersecurity. So education's very important to me. If I get in, I would want to look at opportunities for vertical integration between the high school, Motlow, UTSI, MTSU, whatever makes sense to put folks in programs and get them jobs here in our community, here in our state, to support, whether it be the base or the economic or the industrial megasite that our governor is putting together. We need to be flexible, we need to be dynamic, and we need to offer low-cost value solutions for our people. If I can do it, anybody can, but we need to support it. There's a lot of opportunities for our city, and a whole lot of deadlock with the current administration that's preventing us from getting there. I have nothing against any of the aldermen that are currently in office. I think they have good intentions and good hearts, but unfortunately they can't get along, and that's having a very large negative impact on our community. Business owners that want to come in here and invest in our community and create new businesses and new jobs, they look at the headlines and they say, no way, it's too dangerous, it's too volatile. And with all the lawsuits going back and forth, it makes us less insurable and more liable for issues. The current set of lawsuits in flight could potentially have a direct impact on our budgets and on our taxpayers, and we have to turn that around. One of the reasons why I'm running is I'm not a politician. I have no intentions of springboarding a political career from this. I'm very happy with my current job in cybersecurity and that career trajectory. I have no interest in getting into politics. Because I'm newer to this community, I'm not privy to any long-standing squabbles or interests, and I have really no interest in getting stuck in the mud with any of that. I want to come in, I want to make sure that our budgets are balanced, our roads are nice, and we're thinking about the future with all these economic opportunities coming our way. So that's my platform, that's my time, and thank you so much.
I want to thank TUA for this opportunity. I also want to thank the other folks that are running. I'm certainly not running against any of them. It will be up to the people of Tullahoma to determine who they want to govern them for the next 4 years. Why? I want to give people a choice. And if I'm honest with myself, there's another reason. Tullahoma has given so much to me, and I want to have an opportunity to give something back. A little family history. I'm a third-generation Tullahomian. When I graduated from college, I had an opportunity to come back to Tullahoma and work with my dad in a small independent insurance agency that was started by my grandfather in 1910, E.B. Thoma and Son. I am married to the former Linda Webb. Her dad was Dr. Charles Webb. They moved to Tullahoma in 1958 to start his practice. When Linda graduated from college, she came back to Tullahoma to work in his clinic. We have two sons. Busch, who's married, has one of my granddaughters. They live in Houston, and they're in the petroleum business. Jack is a fourth-generation Tullahomian. When Jack graduated from college, he worked as a risk manager and as an underwriter in an insurance company before he came back to work with me. In 2016, we merged with Lester Green and McCord to become Lester Green, McCord and Thoma, and Jack's a principal in that agency. He's married to the former Brandy Brashears. Brandy graduated from THS and is a nurse practitioner. They have my other granddaughter. I told my sons and my daughter-in-law the greatest gift they ever gave me were my grandchildren. I believe in participating in the community. I was on the Skills Development Board. I was a chairman for various fundraisers for UGF. I was a Bel Air B PTO president. I served on the chamber board, served on my church council. I'm a past president of Tullahoma Rotary Club and was vice president of the Tullahoma I was a vice chairman of the Tullahoma Industrial Board. Some of the most enjoyable times of my life was coaching Little League baseball and youth basketball. Did that for about 12 years. And also was a Explorer Scout chairman. 5 Loaves for Kids. This is a program that provides food on weekends for children in need in our school system. It blew me away the first time I participated, and I got involved in that late in the school year. The people and the organizers put a lot into it and a lot of care. Reading Buddies. This is something Lane Curley started. This is a program in our elementary schools to help our students with their reading disabilities. I can personally relate to that because I had difficulty reading when I was young. Bridges. I always try to find something that helps people help themselves, and Bridges helps people get out of poverty. This community has so many opportunities to participate. We're a giving community, we're a caring community, and we're a community with a lot of pride. This to me is what makes Tullahoma as unique as its name. I believe in controlled quality growth. I'm not your candidate if you want to be a Murfreesboro, a Franklin, or a Brentwood. To me, those towns have lost their community identity. Their people are numbers and not names. We need to work within our infrastructure, but we should never be afraid to invest in our futures. If our forefathers hadn't have done that, we probably, or many of us, would probably not be here. Retail, retail, retail. We need to constantly support that. Our sales tax dollars is what helps stabilizes our property taxes. My grandfather, my father, my brother, and my sister all served as chairman of the Tullahoma School Boards. I am on the Tullahoma Education Foundation. And when I was on the industrial board, our schools were our #1 selling point. Board of Mayor and Aldermen. What happened in the past is in the past. We are for now and for the future. Every board I ever served on, we worked as a team. And yes, we had differences of opinion, but we always we're able to iron those differences out. I believe in common sense, respectability, but most of all, integrity. What we do not only reflects on ourselves, but on our community. And always, always, we need to put our citizens first. I'm running as a true independent. I'm not involved with any coalition, any special interest groups. I have no personal agenda. I'm not involved with any political parties, and I'm funding my campaign myself. The reason? I want to be a voice for all Tullahomans. Tullahoma is my community, and the people are my people now and for the future. And yes, you will have choices for aldermen, but I hope you include me as one. Thank you.